I don't know.
She must have.
Oh, they did.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Ways and Means Committee. We're voting list number 27, voting on about a dozen bills today, as well as 2 concurrences. We will start with the House Bill of 424, Delegate Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and for everyone's benefit, House Bill 424 and the bill that I believe we have next, House Bill 415, are cross files, and we're going to be making them the same. House Bill 424, Public Financing Act, Matching Fund Revisions, the Maryland Fair Elections Act. What this bill does is it really ensures that with our gubernatorial public financing, so to make sure everyone's on the same page, we're talking about the public financing for gubernatorial candidates only, that program, it requires that those who are participating, that they accept only small private contributions. It ensures that those private contributions would be matched with public funds on a sliding scale. It alters the amount of small private contributions that a candidate has to raise in order to qualify for the program, requires participating candidates raise small private contributions to receive the funds in the general election. It repeals expenditure limits for participating candidates, and also requires the governor to appropriate funds for the system. We did add amendments to this bill to basically make it the same as the Senate bill, which we'll talk about next. So those amendments include, again, requiring that the small private contributions eligible for public matching funds are from residents of the state. They alter the amount of the public matching funds provided for small private contributions and make technical changes. So all in all, what this bill does is really ensure the focus of our matching system is on those small donors and matching funds. This bill did pass our subcommittee unanimously, and I move the amendments.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the amendment on the House bill? All right, on the bill as amended, Delegate Wilkins?
Move favorable.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions on the amended version of 424?
Madam Chair, did we vote on the amendments?
Good point. All those, thank you, Delegate Lutke. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you for that. On the bill as amended, it was already moved, but I guess do it again, Delegate Wilkins.
Move favorable as amended.
Second.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any questions on the amended bill? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Delegate Buckle, Delegate Boatler, Delegate Rose, and Delegate Hartman. Boatler, Buckle, Rose, and Hartman. Okay, on the Senate Bill 415.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair. This bill, as amended, will be the same exact bill as the one that we just voted on. The amendments for this bill require that a small private contribution has to be from a resident of the state, and it also makes technical changes. I move the amendments to SB 415.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded. Any, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended, I assume the same vote as last time, but let's, any questions? All those in favor of 415 as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Buckle, Boatler, Hartman, and Rose. Okay,
Madam Chair, can I just say that Delegate Long is on, but he is muted and his camera is turned off, so I don't know if he's...
Okay.
What?
Aye.
he voted in favor of it in subcommittee.
I did.
Yes, you did.
I thought so.
Yes, you did, Bob.
And
It was unanimous in subcommittee.
What about the first bill? 4248?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I'm
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
breaking down the Republicans on this bill. 4-3 split on both.
Shoemaker wants to run for governor.
To be fair, the only candidate ever elected governor off of financing was
Hogan.
Hogan.
Yep.
All right. House Bill 987, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 987 creates a comprehensive technical assistance program within TEDCO to help small businesses grow. The amendments simply require that as part of that comprehensive technical assistance program, those businesses will be assisted in accessing private capital to help fund their ventures. Move the amendments.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions? All right. All those in favor of 987 as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, and Senate Bill 459 is identical to what we just did.
Yep, same as the last one. Move favorable.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Senate Bill 310, Delegate Wilkins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 310, Election Law Campaign Finance Entities Termination. This bill requires that a candidate must terminate their campaign committee within 8 years after the later of the end of their last term in office or the last election in which the individual was a candidate. So it's just outlining closing out a campaign entity. It would be 8 years after the end of your term in office or the last election that you ran in. The bill also requires SBE to send notice to a campaign committee after they're required to terminate and provide the information on the steps that they must take to terminate that campaign committee. There are no amendments to this bill. This was also unanimous in subcommittee, and I move the bill favorable.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Shoemaker for governor. Any questions? All those in favor of Senate Bill 310?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. Senate Bill 480, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 480 is the cross-file of House Bill 421, which we had passed previously. It creates a grant program to help fund tax clinics for low-income Marylanders who need legal support in conflicts with the Comptroller's Office. The Senate bill came across slightly different than the House bill we sent over. Among the changes that we decided to go along with was a change in the distribution. Instead of a 40-40-20 split between the three institutions that provide the support, it would divide the grant funds evenly between the three institutions. The bill would also, or the amendments on the Senate and House side would also move the program into the Comptroller's Office. The amendments on this bill strike the mandated appropriation that came over from the Senate. And George, am I missing anything else? I don't believe so.
And there was a second before. Questions on the amendments? Delegate Hornberger.
Yes. Okay, with the funding stripped out, so what is an optional program for the comptroller to do now?
No, so there's still funding in it. So for the first 2 years of the program, it would be funded out of something called the Unclaimed Property Fund, which has a significant amount of money in it. So it's not going to be a big hit. After that time, it would be a fully appropriable, if that's a word, grant program. So it'd be subject to the appropriations process. The future governors and legislators would determine how much money was in the program.
And then the second question is geographic distribution. How does, say, in Somerset County access these funds?
So the clinics are offered, my understanding is across the state, or they're accessible to people who need support across the state. There's actually 3 different entities that provide this type of service that would receive grants from the fund, and they together cover pretty much all of the state.
Okay, thank you.
Move the amendments, Madam Chair.
Second.
Amendments are moved and seconded. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions? All right, all those in favor of the amended bill?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, Senate Bill 622, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 622 is the cross-file of Delegate Dana Jones' bill that creates a subtraction modification for donation to diaper banks and other charitable entities. The amendments on the bill simply conform it to HB 711 as it passed the House. Move the amendments.
Second.
All right, any questions on the amendments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions? All right.
We lost Delegate Long again.
I'm here.
Well, we can't see you and your mic is off.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, what was your vote?
Oh, aye.
Okay.
Let me go outside.
All right, Senate Bill 639, Delegate Lukey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 639 sets up an inclusion fund in TEDCO. The inclusion fund's goal is to assist technology-based businesses that would qualify for investment under the Builder Fund and are at least 30% owned by individuals who demonstrate economic disadvantage. There is no mandated appropriation to the fund, so the amount of money in the fund would be subject to next year's appropriation process and appropriations process from there on in. So move the bill.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. Senate Bill 659, Delegate Lukey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 659 is a cross-file of Delegate Stephanie Smith's HB 865 that adds an additional $1 million into the Small Commercial Project Revitalization Tax Credit. That program was created as essentially a pilot. It has turned out to be very popular. This would provide some additional funding through the pilot period so we can continue with the program and get a sense of how well it's working and revisit whether we need to permanently fund these types of projects under the revitalization credit. So move the amendment. Or move the bill.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, unanimous. Senate Bill 769.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 769 is a bill that has to do with the venison tax credit. There was a bit of a difference between the Senate and the House on this issue. The House's position had been that we should transition this from a tax credit to a grant program under DNR. The Senate's position was to extend the tax credit, but it turns out we won. Yesterday during the voting session, DNT decided to recede on their amendments. So the House's position is going into law, but there are a couple things that weren't in the House bill that we need to do. One would add some clarifying language to make it easier for the comptroller to administer the credit for the remaining 2 years of the tax credit. The other is a provision that would ask DNR to do a study of whether chronic wasting disease is potentially entering the food stream through venison donation. This is an issue because chronic wasting disease is a significant disease. It's not known yet whether there's human impacts, but it is the equivalent to mad cow disease for cervids. So this bill as amended would include the study language and the comptroller's office language. Move the amendments.
Second.
Delegate Jones was mad cow on your bingo card. Questions, Delegate Hornberger?
Yeah, so the only way to test for CWD is to the brain stem and the brain.
Yeah.
So is that DNR administering that? I'm not understanding.
DNR is supposed to do a study. I wouldn't want to speak to exactly how they will take that study, but I assume some component of the study would involve doing some testing on donated carcasses to see whether there is.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you for that expertise, Delegate Hornberger.
It's just
Blinding us
science.
with science.
The things we learned.
It's science.
Science.
Any other questions on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Questions again? Any more? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that was unanimous. House Bill 787, Senate Bill 787. Isn't that the digital?
Oh, sorry. I didn't have it on my list for some reason. Yes.
I think you're dealing with an earlier day list.
Yes, I must be. So Senate Bill 787 is essentially a corrective bill. It came over from the Senate making some corrections to the digital ads gross receipts tax bill that we passed last year. We engaged in a series of conversations with the Senate and the Comptroller's Office and various stakeholders to identify some additional tax-related corrections that we needed to do, and we've appended them to this bill in the amendments. So I will explain those. They make a number of definitional clarifications related to what defines a digital code or a digital product under last year's digital downloads tax. Those provisions have included DLS, essentially, I should say, George Butler, going back through multiple different provisions of the code to clarify that alongside tangible personal property, digital code and digital products are exempted from various types of purchases. They're also included in various administrative functions. The more substantial amendments add a subtraction modification for people who get utility arrearage assistance under the Relief Act. Because of the way the Relief Act utility assistance funding was done, there was some question about whether it would constitute taxable income. So we've corrected that in the amendments. We also made a series of clarifications to our intent to reinforce our intent from last year's bill regarding what types of digital downloads are subject to taxation. Those clarifications include that online courses at universities and primary and secondary schools are not taxable, that continuing education courses that are live and not pre-recorded and involve an interactive element are not subject to taxation, that seminars offered by business associations and nonprofits that are live and not pre-recorded and are interactive are not subject to taxation, that software that is that cannot be operated without customization is not subject to taxation. And we also have some uncodified language in the amendments to make clear that this is really intended to be just a reinforcement of what our intent was in last year's legislation. So I will move the amendments.
Second.
Amendments have been moved and seconded. Any questions? Delegate Hornberger.
Yep, sorry here. Non-fungible tokens, are they
I
taxed?
apologize, Delegate Hornberger.
Can you, sorry, can you repeat?
Non-fungible tokens are basically used to identify like artwork, for example, that's created online.
I think in that case, that would effectively constitute a digital code,
Right.
and then the artwork itself would then be the digital product.
Right.
They would be taxed once under the bill.
Yeah, so these are tracked using blockchain technology. So I'm just, how do you capture that?
If you are making the purchase, then the seller of that code or whatever would be subject to, would have to collect and remit sales tax.
Okay, and generally the people that create these, again, for the art section of the cohort, they might not live here. So, and these are like comics, you know, things of that nature. So are they, how do they know to collect the sales tax and to remit it if?
So out-of-state
mechanics of it.
Yeah, out-of-state businesses that sell anything to a user in the state would have to collect and remit to the Maryland Comptroller's Office. You know, how would they know? You know, the Comptroller's Office does extensive outreach, and I assume that if they're using a specific platform, in a lot of cases, things like this will use a marketplace facilitator of some kind, and this would be
sometimes, yes,
facilitator laws.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next question we have is Delegate Lasanti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And in the clarifications, we're clarifying exemptions that are subject to taxation, but we're not adding any services to the bill. That's correct. Is that correct?
That's correct. This does not add new taxes of any kind on anyone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the amendments? All right. All those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Delegate Long? Okay. On the bill as amended, Delegate Lukey?
Move favorable.
Second.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor of 787?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, party line. Okay, 787. Senate Bill 885, Delegate Lutke.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Delegate Long.
I thought we were voting on the bill, so I'm okay with the amendments. I'm just voting against the bill.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. Make sure
Thank you.
Pat and Haley got that. Delegate Long is fine on the amendment, but only voting against the bill.
We don't take votes on amendments,
Okay.
only on the bill itself.
Senate Bill 885, Delegate Lutke.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 885 creates a income tax credit for catalytic revitalization projects. This is a transferable credit. It's intended to be used to help incent the redevelopment of major facilities that are retired, so former schools, mental hospitals, federal facilities, et cetera. It's a new program for Maryland. It would be under DHCD. The committee did add 2 amendments. One of those amendments would increase the amount in the reserve fund for a related credit. This is the large commercial historic revitalization credit, which has had its funding essentially static at $9 million for the last few years. It would increase that funding down the road to $12 million. We also added an amendment that essentially calls out affordable housing, and encourages affordable housing in some of these projects. So I would move the amendments.
Second.
Any questions on the amendments? All right, all those in favor of the amendments?
Aye.
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 And on the bill as amended?
Move favorable.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All right, all those in favor of Senate Bill 885?
Aye.
Any opposed? Delegate Long, are you in favor or opposed?
For the amendments or on the bill?
On the bill itself?
On the bill.
Yeah, I'm against the bill.
All right. Unanimous minus Long. All right, Senate Bill 887, Delegate Barnes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is an exact cross file from House Bill 1137, which passed out of the General Assembly. The bill authorizes local government to grant a real or personal property tax credit to a business affected by a declared state of emergency. Move the bill.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that was unanimous. We do have 2 concurrences, I believe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So House Bill 421 is the cross-file of the.
Second.
Any questions? All right, all those in favor of not concurring? All right, and then lastly, I think Delegate Wilkins, House Bill 1048.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill 1048, Election Law, Permanent Absentee Ballot List. This bill will be the exact same as SB 683, which we passed out of the House last week or this week. Passed out of the House recently. So I would like to move to concur with this bill, and just for the benefit of the committee, what this bill does is it's the one that has the ballot drop boxes and the permanent absentee ballot list. So those are the main provisions, and this would just make it the exact same as what we already passed.
Concurrence. Hopefully there's not a long debate on the floor. All right, all those in favor of the concurrence? Delegate Boatler.
I'll vote against it too. I mean, I don't see the point of voting against the concurrence. I'm going to vote against the bill.
Any announcements for?
Chair, I know you said tomorrow, but I do want to give the Election Law Subcommittee a heads up that we will likely meet on Friday for one more bill.
Okay. Anything else? Can we